Very good evening, friends. This side Rahul Magan here as a Group Chief Executive Officer, Treasury Consulting, and also a venture capitalist. As we speak, Treasury Consulting Group is a multinational headquartered group, and unlike any other so called venture capitalist backed company, we are 100% profitable company and running our own hedge fund, our own prop desk, our own learning academies, Sheetal Academy, and many things. And not a single dollar is being taken from any venture capitalist, and more products are on the way. If you wish to have more information, then you can definitely WhatsApp me, which is +91 9899242978, or you can WhatsApp our back office, which is +91 9818485155. You know that, I don't know, but for new people, let me remind you that I started my career with the second largest treasury function in India, which is SCL Technologies Limited. Later on, I moved to EXL and winded up my corporate journey in the treasury function in 2016. From 2016 till 2021, God is very kind, Treasury Consulting reached the heights without backed up by any venture capitalist. In my whole around nine and a half year of journey from 2007 till 2016, in either SCL Technologies or EXL and various conferences offered by the banks, meeting with many corporate treasurers of many pharmaceutical, real estate, infrastructure, and other treasury functions, I always regretted that why the treasury function of India, specifically speaking, except few companies like Reliance, TCS, L&T, those who treat treasury function as a profit center, except these two or three big names. 99.99% treasury function are running as a profit, as a cost center. Rather, there is still a mentality in the eyes of the people that the treasury department only doing the fund transfer, maximum they do mutual funds or maybe dollar selling. And I don't think the perception is completely wrong, because 99% of the corporate treasurers end up doing the same thing almost every passing day. And I get several messages on the WhatsApp wherein people are asking me how I can upgrade my knowledge, how to use Reuters, how to use Bloomberg, how to use them, how to increase the knowledge, and so on and so forth. Many times I reply, many times I don't, because every day I get lots of messages and it is impossible for me to reply every message. In my 9 years of career as a treasury function, I always ask one question from the management of both SCL and EXL, and as usual, not got any reply that why the treasury is acting as a cost center. If we run treasury as a profit center, then treasury would be able to earn what even a company is not being able to earn. Example, TCS, Wipro, SCL, Infi, Cognizant, L&T, Reliance, Bajaj Auto, and there are many big companies we have in India. Their volumes are very big. Like in the earlier examples, like Infosys, Wipro, SCL, TCS, Cognizant, they have more or less export volumes, very less import volumes. When we speak about Reliance and all, they have more or less export and import volume both. Similar are other companies, some do natural hedging, some do not do natural hedging, depends. But majority of the cases, treasury is a cost center. But whenever there is a question which is coming in that corporate, which is that how to reduce the cost, the first thing is how to reduce the headcount. Because no CFO, so-called chief financial officer, having guts to come forward and say that rather than cutting the human resource, the treasury function can come into the picture and replace the cost. And there is yet another example of that. 17th June 2021, there is a news flashed across internet that around 3 million jobs, which is around 30 lakhs or 3 million, to be cut by 2022 in the Indian IT and ITES companies. According to the article dated 17th June 2021 in the Live Mint, as we speak, around 16 million people are employed in the Indian domestic software companies. 16 million people, 1 6. Out of 16 million people, around 3 million people are set to go by 2022, which precisely means 20% of the workforce. 20. 20% of the workforce is expected to chop off in another 1 years of time. Isn't that interesting? Because according to the latest study by Center for Monitoring and Indian Economy, which is right there on the internet, the joblessness in the youth, also in the elder people, people having 60 plus age, they are losing jobs permanently. So although I will not repeat the whole story again, but when the corona first wave started somewhere in March 2020, people expected that the jobs which are lost, they are temporary in nature and would be replenished very soon as the vaccine hit the show. Vaccination came somewhere January 2021. Many countries already booked that, many not booked that. This is the political issue, so forget that. But even after the vaccinations, the job count is continue on the lower side. You can check on the Google, the latest study by the Center for Monitoring and Indian Economy reflect that. It clearly reflects that. There is no need to repeat the whole story again. And by the way, the third wave is on the way across the globe. United Kingdom already confirmed that third wave on the way. The US CDC, they already warning people and so on and so forth. What is happening in India, you know, it is on the Google. Out of 16 million people, around 20% of the people would be chopped off by 2022, which means that if we go with the current statistics of Center for Monitoring and Indian Economy, the mess will exaggerate. Because Center for Monitoring and Indian Economy, CMIE, already predicted or already told that this much loss has already happened. So this much loss is done. And they are saying that, and according to this article, around 3 million people are yet to, 3 million people to chop off. You know what is the stupidity? I don't know. I don't understand. The article saying by chopping around 3 million people by 2022, which is around 20% of the workforce, if we go with the article, this led to a whopping saving of $100 billion, mostly salaries at TCS, Infosys, Wipro, SCL. Take Cognizant, take all BPO. Guys, do their annual sales. The total annual sales of Indian IT company is not even 100 billion. Total annual sales of Indian IT company is not even 100 billion. So how come chopping the 20% of the workforce would end up saving of 100 billion? This is the common logic. Like the salary Indian IT companies give to their employees, this salary is a part of their revenue. Basically, let's take a hypothetical example of SCL. SCL Technologies Limited, just taking a hypothetical example, is having a monthly say payroll. We call this a monthly payroll of 100 crores in India. Just a hypothetical example. It means that if they are spending 100 crores as a monthly payroll, which precisely means that their income is much more than 100 crores, of course, because EBITDA margins are very good, right? That is also a fact. So if the total revenue of Indian IT companies are not 100 billion, then how come the savings would be 100 billion? But the fact is, Indian media can print anything. Thankfully, they printed 100 billion. They could have printed more than 200 billion. And I know that many idiots, Gandhi ji ke teen bandar, no listening, not speaking, not seeing, they will believe in that. I spent 9 years in Indian IT company. I hardly see any Indian IT company paying, I don't want to give any figure, but how come the 3 million chopping end up 100 billion of salary now? Which means just do the simple mathematics and let's have a simple mathematics. Total workforce is 16 million as per the article. Okay, guys. If 20% of the workforce end up saving 100 billion per year, and this is by the way in dollars, which means that five times, which is 100%, it means that every year Indian IT companies give salaries worth 500 billion. Indian IT companies in every years give salaries worth 500 billion. Isn't that stupidity? But Indian media can print anything. That's a fact. Now, the reason which is given is the RPA. By the way, RPA stands at Robotics Process Automation, which is nothing but I would say a kind of automation. But I doubt whether this is happening because of automation and digitization. Because automation and digitization both are different things. Example: Singapore and Somalia. S stands for Singapore, S stands for Somalia. Both are independent nations. One is a global financial center, used to be global financial center, other Is that clear? Now the question is, there is a big difference between RPA and digitization. As per the media, the 20% chop off would happen because of RPA, but where the hell is digitization? No one talking it about. Now the question is, who next? I'm not speaking when this 20% would be chopped off, what would happen? Everyone know there is a huge joblessness in the Indian market. Youth is completely joblessness. The elder people are joblessness, but the majority of the media do not want to talk this about. In fact, I hardly see any debate on this important thing that 20% of the Indian IT or ITES workforce would be chopped off in the media. No, they don't speak, right? Now the question is, next is the Indian banking. Globally, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Standard Chartered, UBS, Barclays, Citi, you name them, they are completely moving to automation. They are moving to their apps. They are moving to digitization. They are moving from brick to mortar to the apps. Except Google, I don't know, Google is moving towards brick and mortar, and that too in the Corona season. I don't know what's the logic of what's the logic of Mr. Pachai, but God knows. Anyways, US banking is moving towards digitization. Indian banking is moving towards brick and mortar. The very latest example is the acquisition of, Lakshmi Vilas Bank by the DBS. Well, DBS claims to be a Singapore-based bank, but how exactly DBS work, we all know that, we know very well. Now the question here is that very soon you will see the Indian banks will start chopping off the heads. 15 days before, no one ever thought that Indian IT companies would be chopping off around 20% of the workforce, but now the reality is right before us, and very soon you will see the same would get replicated in the Indian banking system. When you will see the people like private bankers, you will see people like the tellers, the people working in the branches, they asked to step down. Because globally, the banking is moving towards digitization. If you don't trust me, please open Google and check the initiatives taken by Goldman, JP, HSBC, Standard Chartered, UBS, Barclays, and all the big banks in terms of digitization. You will see the same would replicate in India very soon, and how many jobs would cut. I would like to conclude the video with just one line. Einstein used to say, one is data, step one. One is information, step two. Third is intellect. Fourth is wisdom. All the gentlemen right before me, they all had wisdom. And we all are at data. And there is no end to stupidity. There is no end to stupidity. Guys, just imagine. I don't know when it would happen, but as and when this 20% people asked to step down, around 3 million people out of 16 million people, just imagine the joblessness in the Indian society. But where are we focused today? That's more important. And don't think that this will only impact Indian IT sector. The next is the Indian banking, followed by Indian manufacturing. Because manufacturing is also moving towards automation. If you don't trust me, please open the Google, check yourself. You will get the hard reality. This is Rahul from Treasury Consulting Group. You know my personal number, which is +91 9899242978. But before I conclude the video, let me remind one thing. If the so-called chief financial officer or the so-called chief executive officers of Indian IT company will decide to run the treasury function as a profit center, I repeat, treasury function as a profit center, then in that there is no need to cut the headcount. Rather, you will end up having more saving in your P&L, which is called bottom line. Which is called bottom line. And next time when Indian media will print this article and giving a whopping figure of 100 billion, just use your mind and say that if 20% of the workforce end up having 100 billion worth of salaries, it means the 100% population, which is around 16 million, as per the article, would end up having 500 billion worth of salary. Is Indian IT company, including IT ESR, earning 500 billion, guys? The logic is a word which we almost missed everywhere. This is Rahul from Treasury Consulting Group, and have a great time ahead.